just creating for children or just creating for adults. What is the most interesting in terms of telling stories that could just be perceived as children's stories, but instead wanting them to be, it seems to me, that you wanted them to be all ages as opposed to just children's or just adults?
If I understand the question, which is hard because that goddamn microphone.
I'm also
See, when he talks to me without the mic, I know everything he says, but he's such a sweet guy, he's got the mic so that you'll hear him. So you're hearing him and I can't make out what he says. But anyway, you're talking about trying to write stories for people of all ages.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Here we go. I always did do that. People would say to me, well, what age group are you writing for? And I never knew how to answer that, because to me, a good story should be enjoyed by everybody. Now, you could write a good story using flowery language and big words and too much description, so you sort of drive the younger readers away. I tried not to do that. I tried to write stories where the plot and the characters were interesting enough that anybody, a young kid or a grown-up, would want to follow the story. I tried to write it using, I didn't use a smaller vocabulary. I would use whatever word seemed to do the trick. If I wanted to say that somebody was, now I can't think of the word, but a big word, I would say it. I figure that the reader, the younger reader, would know what it meant by the use of the sentence. Or if he had to go to a dictionary and look it up, that's not the worst thing in the world that would happen. But I tried to keep it so that a young person could understand it, but so that it was hopefully well written enough for an older person. And I used to feel our comics, I'm not talking about the guy who took off his glasses, our comics were good for young people and for older people. I would like to feel that someone like you would enjoy reading the Avengers, let's say, and that your kids would also enjoy reading them. So if you keep it relatable enough for young people, and you pay enough attention to the characterization and to the plot for older people, you've got something that, in my eyes, is the perfect type of story. I'm not implying that I wrote perfect stories, but if you want to think I did, I'm not going to argue with you.